Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. In this video, I'll speak about NZDUSD. And as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I'll cover the technical aspect for this market. Then we will be moving to the order flow by looking at the commitment of traders, which is what the big players in the market are doing and how they're moving and shifting their orders, which you see right here. And by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here for this pair. So this is definitely a video you do not want to miss. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Starting here from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which at the moment is testing a quite strong historical monthly demand and support zone. In fact, from here, all these previous rejections to the upside were created. Every time the market tested this zone, it rejected it to the upside quite aggressively. And what we can see is that right now the market is testing the exact same level, has already started rejecting it to the upside. However, it then started this correction. Now, this doesn't mean that the rejection to the upside is over. It could definitely be an impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. However, it does increase the probabilities that from here, the market might go for another test of this exact same level of historical demand and support. So let's keep all of this in mind and drop down on the weekly time frame to see what kind of price action and structure we currently have on the lower time frames. Well, here in the weekly, things already start to get quite interesting, because what we can notice is that at this level we have previous weekly support from which all this previous rejection to the upside was created, which is now turned resistance here. Now, until the market will remain below this previous support and resistance, there is good probability of seeing short-term bearish price action, with the market respecting this area as resistance and creating some bearish price action away from this zone. So on the weekly, the fact that we are testing resistance suggests that there is the possibility for some short-term weakness here for NZDUSD. Dropping down on the daily time frame, this is where things get quite interesting, because here on the daily, first of all, I spoke about NZDUSD just a few days ago on my free Telegram channel, which, by the way, you find linked in the description, and I explained all the reasons for which from here I was expecting this rejection to the upside for the market to start this deeper correction. And you can go and check that one out for more free education. And this correction actually is a quite healthy correction, because the impulse to the downside was very aggressive, and no market can just go down in a straight line. Every market, even in a downtrend, needs a series of impulses and corrections in order to be in a healthy downtrend. So this correction, which is now currently also testing previous daily support from which these two previous rejections to the upside were created, which is now turned resistance, is a quite interesting area, inside of which we have both the weekly resistance, which is also this daily resistance, a bearish pattern because we have this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside. And if we will see more institutional shorting inside of this zone, that definitely increases the probabilities of seeing some bearish price action created away from this area. Now, speaking about institutional shorting, if we go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so what the big players in the market are doing, and we look at the data precisely for the NZD, the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that if we are looking at the data for the NZD, we are actually already looking at NZDUSD, because all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD. And what we can see is that net positions lately have been massively decreased. We went from a situation where we had a positive net positioning, so plus 4.9k net positions, meaning that we had more longs than shorts on NZDUSD when it comes to the institutional side of the market, with 18,000 longs compared to 14,000 shorts. Now we have the complete opposite. So we have a negative net positioning with minus 21k net positions, with more shorts than longs, 33k shorts compared to only 12k longs, making it quite weak. And clearly institutions moved back to the bearish side for this market. So Let's keep that in mind and move back to the chart. So in a situation like this, what would I expect? Well, as usual, and as my students know very well, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily time frames combined with the COT data, those are the best time frames when it comes to the directional aspect of the market. However, when it comes to identifying early shifts in the trend of a market, the best time frames for that are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what I would expect is that if this market would shift from an intraday bullish to a bearish market, I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential rejection to the downside away from this area for the market to complete this daily impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside. That definitely wouldn't surprise me. Now, all this free education and analysis that you see me share here on YouTube is actually just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, if you want to learn more, I really suggest that you go over to the Transparent FX Trading website, which you find linked in the description. And here you will have the possibility to gain access to all my courses, which range from the very basics of trading to the more advanced topics like building automated trading systems, building a portfolio of strategies, uncorrelated strategies, and much, much more using quantitative finance tools like the Quant Analyzer. So it's really something that you cannot afford to miss. You also have the possibility to gain access to my trading station software with the Telegram notifications integrations, one-on-one mentoring directly with me for any questions you have along the way, the COT data software, which you often see me use here on my YouTube videos. The program is also an all-in-one program, so you gain access to everything immediately, including all my strategies and EAs, and you also gain access to my entertaining trading show in which I share all my trades as they're happening. Here, you will see the presentation of each and every one of my strategies with the full historical backtest and presentations of the rules of the strategy. You also, as we were speaking about, have access to the live trading show. So essentially, every trade that is taken on my live account is automatically shown here in a very entertaining fashion as they're happening. So opened, closed, managed, so you can learn even more. And as you scroll down, you will see that you have the possibility to join and gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the registration process. So again, I really suggest you go and check it out. The link is in the description, and I will see you on your student dashboard. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click on the like button. Also, let me know in the comments below any new pairs that you would like me to cover in my next videos. Also, any questions you have, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss new updates, and I will see you in my next video.